Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Infinity, and this is Magnetize Yourself, where we talk about life, love, spirituality, and of course, the law of attraction. In today's video, we are going to be doing a reading and energy update for our beautiful collective here on YouTube. So to get started, I just wanted to say that I hope you're having an absolutely amazing start to your week. And I am just so grateful to be here with all of you. We've also just gone through the 7/7 portal on July 7th as of yesterday. So there's been this powerful energetic shift taking place, and I've been calling it a shift in phases, where we are moving beyond a sort of training phase or a stage where you may have found yourself more so in a hermit mode or in isolation. That was also a training ground for whatever you are about to be doing, sharing, or creating next. But that next phase really is upon us. And I can tell from reading through some of the lovely comments under a video I posted a few days ago that many of you are experiencing these energetic shifts in your own lives as well. And I have to say that it was just so beautiful and inspiring to read through those comments and to see what so many of you are doing and creating and putting out into the world. And I just wanted to give a huge thank you to those of you who did take the time to share some of what you've been working on or what you've been going through. And I also want to say that whatever you are doing serves such a powerful purpose, even if you don't fully consciously register it or see it yet. And I'm also just getting that whatever you are doing or creating has such a further reaching impact than you could possibly imagine. So I would love to hear from you under this video as well if you do have anything to share. Of course, one of my favorite parts about creating here on YouTube is this just truly mutually supportive community that we're creating. So thank you for being such a powerful and important part of that. And of course, a co-creator of all of these videos as well. So I'm going to go ahead and start by shuffling the Work Your Light Oracle deck. So I'm just going to pull through a starting message here. Now, of course, if you do resonate with the energy of this channel already, then I invite you to subscribe, join our beautiful community of like-minded, conscious, creative beings here on YouTube. You can also follow me on Instagram as well. I've been making an effort to be a bit more active on Instagram and really share insights and ideas as they're coming through in either posts or reels. I would love to hear from you as well if you are a creative type or if you've been sharing things with the world or online recently. I'd love to hear about your creative process or whether you've been really pushing yourself recently to share things that are coming through or being created as you are creating them, if that makes sense. Because I also feel that that is something I've been picking up on strongly, that for many of you listening, you are highly creative and setting that creativity into motion in some way in your personal life, maybe creating things just to get it down on paper, so to speak, whether that's literal or more metaphoric, symbolic. But regardless, I feel that for someone I am speaking to here, you may have been feeling as though you are creating these things, but when it comes to taking that step to share them or to actually put it out into the world in some way, it might feel like you come up against certain fears or blockages, so to speak. And I'm hearing everything that you desire is on the other side of those fears. Interesting. That might be a message for someone. Releasing the fear of being seen for your work or the fear of being received by other people in whatever capacity. Now, of course, this could look very different from person to person. For some of you, this might be business or career oriented. This also, I just heard someone might be becoming more visible in a workplace. So you might be getting promoted or put in some kind of leadership position or elevated to some higher level. But for many of you, again, this could be a personal project, creative work, something that you're doing or sharing, whatever this is for you. And I'm also getting that whatever you create and share inspires others, not just in the sense that they are kind of vaguely inspired by your work, but in a much more personal sense, because whatever you create, it's almost leading by example for others. It's paving a pathway that others can follow to really share their own self with the world or their own creativity with the world in some way. When you break down a limiting belief within yourself, you are breaking down that barrier for the collective as well. So if you're feeling a fear around something that also intertwines with something that you're very passionate, excited about, or that you love and want to share, then know that the fear you're feeling isn't just your own. It's actually also a collective fear that you're picking up on. And in addressing that fear and clearing it from within yourself, you are playing this really powerful and effective role in assisting others in facing or clearing or moving through that same fear. So everything that you're doing for yourself is actually of value to the collective whole. And I'm going to be, I promise, shuffling a card now. I know I said I was going to a couple minutes ago, but I just want to know what you need to know most at this time. I really love this deck because I find the messages to be so highly inspiring and activating on such a personal and deep level. Here we have the cards transformation and protection. So you are being protected energetically through a transformation. Maybe some of the fears coming up for you are actually around protection. It's possible that you've been considering doing something, sharing something, putting yourself out there in some way, but fears come up around, will I be protected through this process? If I follow through on how I'm feeling inspired to move here, will it work out in my favor? Will the outcome be protected here in a sense? And I'm seeing this as a massive sign of confirmation that living in your truth comes with a natural form of protection. And sometimes that protection comes in the form of rejection as well, because living in your truth and speaking your truth and really embodying that means that there is almost a frequency around you that is sort of like a ring of fire, and anything that passes through it has to be aligned with you at that authentic core level energetically, or it's going to be burned away or repelled out of your life. So speaking and embodying your truth comes with its form of protection, because others will reveal themselves to you in how they react to you. Meaning, if you are being honest, open, and authentic, the ones who aren't able to connect with that, or who don't want to connect with that, or who might disconnect from you because of that, you can know that either there is not an alignment there between the two of you, and so that in itself is a form of protection, or alternatively, even if there is a core alignment, it might mean that that person is not ready to face something that you illuminated within them or that you revealed to them about yourself, about themselves, I guess, and yourself. So something about you may actually be trying to trigger them to go deeper. And even if there is that potential for that more deep, authentic soul connection, so to speak, whether that's platonic, in the workplace, collaboratively, romantically, in whatever scenario, even if that's a potential, you can know if that person is repelled by your authenticity and your truth, that they are not ready to connect in with their own potential in a sense. And that's okay as well, because it's such a journey. And I feel that there is such value in honoring the journey that each of us is on and having empathy for the journey that another is on as well, because we are all familiar with the dynamic internally of feeling exposed or illuminated by something in someone else in a way that we might not yet be ready to face or to see fully within ourselves. However, I will say that for the specific person or group that I'm tuned into here, I feel that you are someone who is really deeply introspective, that when things are illuminated for you within yourself, you want to explore them and unravel them and figure them out. In fact, this is so your nature, to the extent that when you encounter someone who doesn't operate in that fashion, it might feel really strange to you. It might be difficult to understand why someone wouldn't want to introspect and go deep within themselves and unravel those patterns and dynamics, really getting to the core of who they are and embodying that in a fuller way. And that's really, again, your true nature, but also of enormous value to society and to the world at large as well. Because what I just keep seeing through this reading is the deeper you go within yourself and the more you unravel your own limiting belief systems, the more you heal yourself internally, the more you are radiating a kind of energy that is actually assisting others in healing themselves and freeing themselves in a sense. So I want to know more about this transformation that you're going through, because this has been coming up a lot and it does seem to be really deeply connected with the throat chakra energy. So the energy of truth and authenticity. You might be using your voice to create or in some kind of new way. I'm hearing you don't cross paths with anyone by accident. In a sense, every connection that enters your life is a manifestation, even if it's a very seemingly small connection on the surface. Even if it appears to be an interaction that's nearly meaningless or very brief, time doesn't matter when it comes to these connections for you. Everyone who interacts with you or connects with you is doing so intentionally on a deeper level. Every connection that enters your life is a form of manifestation in the sense that I feel you have something to give to each other or something of value that you are exchanging. So maybe for someone I'm speaking to here, you've met or connected with someone recently where there is that intentional exchange of value taking place, where you have something to offer each other along your journey, even if it is something that's seemingly brief or small. And I will see if that comes back up here, because I potentially do want to go deeper into that also. But here we have the Six of Pentacles reversed, which I keep hearing something about withholding or holding back. And so this might be connected to your voice. Maybe there is some part of yourself that you've been hesitant on expressing or sharing, that you've been kind of holding back in some sense. Maybe this relates to some of those fears that have been coming up here. Now, of course, we are channeling energies here, so these could relate internally to something going on within you, but this equally could relate to something going on with someone external who is connected to you. So maybe this is someone connected to you that's holding something back that they know intuitively, because this is also sitting on the third eye chakra. So either you are being inspired in a direction that seems to involve sharing your heart or your voice in a new way or in a more profound or visible kind of way, and you might be questioning that internal guidance or kind of hesitating, or this could be someone external to you who intuitively knows something about you or about a connection with you or about something that they just know intuitively or that they've sensed that they have not yet communicated or that they're withholding in some sense. So what else can I channel about this dynamic here? Okay, yeah, someone being guarded or overly cautious with the King of Swords reversed. Now, what's really interesting is at first I thought this was a King of Wands reversed, and the King of Wands reversed tends to be this kind of harsh, cold, or narcissistic energy. So it's almost as though you might be misperceiving someone as being cold or disconnected from you or harsh in some kind of way, when what's going on within them is actually really different. They're feeling guarded and overly cautious, but not in a cold way. There's a specific reason for it. Now, for others of you, maybe you are the one being misperceived, that maybe you're being guarded in some sense, you're hesitating on something, and you might have a very good reason for it, but someone else might be misperceiving you as being cold or being overly guarded in some sense. So again, take this however it connects, whether that's you internally or someone externally. I do feel this element of misperception here. I'm hearing the first glance was a misperception. So it's almost as though the first look at something or the first glance at something is an illusion or is a misperception. That might be relevant for someone. Of course, I do feel the need to emphasize that whatever I channel in these readings is really just collective energies that I am picking up on. But at the end of the day, it's really your intuition that holds all of the answers for you and for your life. So I always recommend listening to your intuition above all else and only taking the messages that resonate for you in that personal and intuitive space within yourself. Okay, so here we have the Star card in the reverse position. So there's someone here feeling caught in a monotonous cycle or possibly focusing on the negative here. This might be someone who's very hard on themselves. This could be you. This could be someone connected to you. And this does seem to be connecting with the solar plexus chakra energy. So our sense of internal confidence, internal stability. We also have the 10 of Wands. So there is the sense of being a bit overburdened or taking on a lot of responsibility. So this person or energy coming up seems to be very overburdened, possibly hard on themselves, feeling a bit negative at this time. And again, this could be some aspect of you or someone who is sending you energy or connected with you in some way. It's interesting. I got the 9 of Pentacles earlier, but I forgot to take it out of the deck. So I'm now feeling that energy coming back up because I so strongly felt that for many of you listening, that was you. The 9 of Pentacles is a very thriving, independent, kind of abundant sort of energy. So someone or maybe many people are perceiving you being in that space, regardless of whether or not you are the one feeling this overburden, feeling hard on yourself at times, or questioning some of your gifts, abilities, or talents. Regardless, you need to know that you are being perceived in a really beautiful light. The word inspired is coming out. So maybe you've been feeling really inspired lately, but regardless, many people do seem to be feeling inspired by you. And we have the 10 of Cups here, but also the Ace of Wands. What's interesting is this Ace of Wands card, at first, I thought was coming out in the reverse position, but it actually came out upright. And what that means to me is there's almost an opportunity here that appeared to be failed or to be a missed opportunity, but I'm hearing it's only getting started or it's only the beginning. So you might believe that someone or something has overlooked you when really it's this powerful potential new beginning. This could be, of course, when it comes to a social dynamic, a collaboration, a romantic situation, the workplace. But I just get the sense that you almost think that you were overlooked by someone or something, or that someone missed this opportunity to connect with you or wasn't interested in that opportunity. But it's actually very much the opposite. I see really harmonious long-term potential here for either some kind of collaboration, coming together, some kind of, I'm hearing stable long-term partnership or collaboration of some kind, which of course could be an offer in the workplace, could be something platonic, could be romantic. But I'm just getting on your end to remain optimistic and open-minded, because not everything is as it seems. And that seems to be a major message around the 7-7 portal, this sense that there's an element of illusion. The way things look at first glance, or the way you feel people might perceive you at first glance, won't be the way that they necessarily play out in the long term. In fact, I'm getting a much more generalized message for you that you might often have this experience where the way someone interacts with you when they connect with you the first time is often very non-indicative of how that connection is going to play out in the long term. So what I mean by that is sometimes the most seemingly innocuous and small and brief interactions can evolve over time for you into the most beautiful long-term kinds of situations or connections. And again, we're not just talking romantic, this could be platonic as well. But I'm just getting that the way people perceive you in a first glance or an initial interaction is very different from how you energetically affect them in the long term. I've often called this the slow burn effect of your energy as well, because I feel that you have this way of impressing and activating others. And when I say impressive, I don't mean in an egotistical sense, but in the sense literally of leaving a mark or leaving an imprint. You have this effect on others that they very often don't feel or fully recognize, that they might even overlook initially, but that they can really sense in the long term. This is also why you might find that people from your past will re-enter your life suddenly. And at times they might tell you that they were often thinking of you when they were not in your life or communicating with you whatsoever. This is because the way you interact with others is really 99% happening at a deeper level energetically than it is happening in terms of conscious physical 3D communication. So I'm going to be reshuffling the cards. I know that was a little long-winded, but I am also feeling on the trail of another download that I was receiving earlier today when I was doing my morning meditation and journaling. And you guys know that recently I've been really trying to share some of what I've been journaling in the mornings and kind of weaving that into these readings that we do as well. But one major message that was coming through was around the correlation between time and connection for you, and really more so the lack of correlation, because you are someone where getting to know you is not a process that is about time itself or even your physical interactions with a person. And what I mean by that is someone could interact with you every single day for years and never feel like they're really getting close to you. There might be a lack of depth or intimacy, even if they are interacting with you extremely frequently. And even if they are wanting to get to know you or get into your life in a stronger way. On the other hand, someone can meet you and feel as though they are deeply familiar with you emotionally and personally within just a few days and not necessarily that many interactions. This is because getting to know you is more an internalized process than an externalized one. You quite literally have this ability of meeting other people as deeply as they are meeting themselves. So when you come across someone who carries a lot of depth to them, someone who is extremely self-aware and interested in that journey of connecting consistently deeper with their own self, it's very natural for there to be a deep, authentic, and emotionally intimate connection between the two of you very quickly. But on the other hand, when someone is living very unconsciously, meaning they are not interested at that point in becoming more aware of their own internal patterns and dynamics, going deeper within themselves, they will feel, even when they are really trying to get to know you, as though they are running in circles. And this message was coming through around almost the idea that if someone wants to get to know you better, what they actually have to do is to go deeper within themselves to find you, because you have this very mysterious energy. It's almost a very elusive energy also, where you are, in a sense, again, not so much bound by time, space, or distance, but deeply connected to your own energy and your own internal world, where you are interconnected to everyone and everything. And so regardless of how little you communicate with someone or how far away distance-wise they might be from you, when someone is willing to find you by connecting deeper within themselves, that is how they will establish a deeper connection with you that then has the ability to manifest itself physically. But if someone isn't willing to take that inner journey, they are going to feel frustrated. They're going to find themselves running in circles. And at times that can even be projected back onto you as blame. So of course, there's also the message on your side to release the need to explain yourself or how you operate to other people, because you have a very unique way of interconnecting with others that others often do not understand. You are so intuitively guided throughout this process as well. So sometimes you will, in a conversation, intuitively sense when to shut down the information that you're giving to someone. You can sense when that wall goes up within them, and it signals to you that that connection isn't capable of going any deeper. And so you might suddenly feel as though there are certain things you cannot share or say with that person. But equally, there may be times you feel really comfortable opening up and sharing more with someone. And equally, you can trust that intuitive guidance as well. So much has been coming up recently around having the courage and the confidence in your own intuition and how it communicates with you, that you are able to, in a more fluid and in the moment way, follow that guidance, not knowing logically where exactly it's going to go or why it's occurring to you, but also being able to follow it in both directions. So when you are feeling an offness with someone or a need to pull back or to shut down or to not share something, to trust and lean into that as much as you trust or also lean into feeling the safeness and the openness around a connection or around a person, and the ability to open up and share more with that particular person or to give them more of your time and energy. So I know that this video has taken a bit of an unexpected direction, but I trust that whatever came through here was what someone needed to hear today. Now, if you are feeling a resonance here, you may be interested in joining me on Patreon as well. I do channel extended Patreon readings along with these main collective readings every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So in the Patreon reading, I don't know exactly what we're going to be talking about yet, but it will be a continuation and elaboration on these messages. And of course, I expect a lot of new information to be manifested through as well. So if you do want to join our beautiful soul tribe on Patreon, the link to do so is in the pinned comment and description box underneath this video. For now, I am going to be pulling one final Rumi Oracle card to close out this reading here on YouTube. And the Rumi card to come out here is Al-Azza, Star of Venus. So I'm just going to be reading a little bit from the guidebook. And the guidebook says, with great blessings, great growth is possible. However, the blessings don't do the growth for us, making it magically happen. They give us the drive we need, the power and the opportunities and assistance we need, yet it is still we who take the journey. The great spiritual journey for old souls at this time in Earth's history is the journey from duality to oneness. The journey of oneness is not about denying duality, but about experiencing it as an expression of one love. It is about no longer being enslaved by it. It is about embracing the all, of finding the freedom and joy originally sought, but now through a path that takes you into joy and freedom existing within. So that feels like a beautiful place to close the reading. Thank you so much again for tuning in today. And of course, if you are enjoying this video and these messages, I would love for you to subscribe here on YouTube and follow me on Instagram at Magnetize Yourself. Otherwise, I am sending you all huge amounts of love. I hope you have an amazing remainder of your day and week, and I will connect with you here again in Wednesday's reading.